We got 3 kids running everywhere.
You
But
got 3 kids?
yeah, remember we had that third one?
Oh, God, you did have a
Oh.
third one. All right.
I can
no
speak
more.
from experience. The third one always gets forgotten about.
Hey, boys.
What's
Episode
up?
2. Episode 2. We actually came back for a second episode. Can you believe it?
We made
I
it back.
can't believe we survived the first one.
Can't believe we found time to get together for a second one. But here we are. So welcome into Brothers Know Best. This is episode 2, a show where we just share some of the best things that we've seen, some of the best things that we've experienced, and just talk about those things together. So we're going to do that tonight. Tonight, we're talking about best things that happen in sports this week. We're going to give you our best items to order off the Chick-fil-A secret menu. There's a secret menu. Is there a secret menu?
Secret menu?
I guess we'll find out. And then my favorite, segment so far, we're going to each share a best embarrassing moment that we've seen each other go through. But before we do that, how was the weekend? How was last week? How you guys doing?
Good. It's busy in my house. We got 3 kids running everywhere. But
You got 3 kids?
yeah, remember we had that third one?
Oh, God, you did have a third one. All right.
I can speak from experience. The third one always gets forgotten about.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
It's cold in Oregon, though. I'll tell you that. I think it was 80 in the South this past week, or getting close to it, and it's 48 and rainy up here. I'm over it already.
God.
We got a long winter ahead.
Love it. So we're already off to a good start. 3 dudes talking about the weather. I mean, just what everybody tunes in for. Perfect. Perfect. So next, we're going to talk politics. No, we're not going to talk politics. Don't worry. We're not talking politics. But we will stop talking about the weather and get off to something a little bit more interesting. So big weekend in sports. It's always a big week, big weekend, whatever you want to talk about in sports. Daniel, what was the best thing that happened in sports last week?
Oh, my best thing, and I'll be totally honest, I haven't been following them as much as some other teams, but down in Miami, you've got a receiver named Xavier Restrepo, and I had to double check this how you say his name. I'm just going to be totally honest.
How many times did you practice that?
Yeah. That's number 47. Okay. But he is now the all-time leading receiver in catches and yards in Miami. And you say, well, that's a big deal. Well, it is a big deal because Michael Irvin was there on the sideline when he come off. And I was like, dude, that's probably the greatest receiver to ever come out of Miami. You got dudes like Santana Moss. You got Reggie Wayne. Dude, that's some elite company. And I think he's only 7 touchdowns behind passing Michael Irvin all time. And the way they're playing, he could still do it. So I love it. Andre Johnson. I forgot Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
Big dude.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The U is playing some good football, man. They're beating everybody by a gazillion points. Cam Ward. They're just, it feels
the comeback kids.
Yeah.
Is Cam Ward?
Comeback. They had to come back against Duke. So let's just, put that out there.
They did. Georgia had to come back against Florida.
Well, we'll talk about that in a moment. We'll talk about that in a moment, okay? Let's just talk about the best thing that happened in sports. We don't need to be talking about Florida and Georgia.
If you've got a best thing from that Georgia-Florida game, I think you need to go ahead and share it.
Yep.
Because I couldn't think of a single one.
Listen, guys. Well, you're in luck because my best thing that happened in sports came from the Georgia-Florida game. The best thing that happened in sports for me this week is that Carson Beck threw 2 interceptions. And Georgia still beat Florida by 2 touchdowns.
I thought it was 3.
Still beat them lousy, stinking Gators by 2 touchdowns.
3 interceptions.
He threw 3
Did he throw 3? Well, he threw 3 interceptions.
Look,
however many he threw, it doesn't matter.
But
it doesn't matter how many he threw.
We quit counting after 2. That's just a rule.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many he threw. He threw a lot of interceptions, and Georgia beat Florida by 2 touchdowns. So listen, that's the best thing that happened for me in sports. It doesn't get any more feel good, guys, than Georgia winning a game by 2 touchdowns. And you go to Twitter and it immediately feels like a loss. Like, I mean, it just, it is like, we are so back. We are so back.
Oh,
like
yes.
Munsoning, thinking that this Georgia team is terrible. Just like we're going to lose the next game. Like, everything that can happen within the emotional roller coaster has been happening with Georgia football. But honestly, like that was the best thing for me. Best thing for me was beating Florida by 2 touchdowns. It can't get any better. Doesn't get any more feel good. I grew up in an era that some of you, if you're listening to this podcast, you may have grown up in that era with me, where Georgia did not beat Florida, like literally did not beat Florida anytime, and got embarrassed by Florida many years. And so for me, best thing, Carson Beck threw 3 interceptions, and Georgia still beat Florida by 2 touchdowns.
I love it.
John, I think maybe it was you on Twitter, said this Georgia team, the way they're playing, that Carson Beck has thrown 8 interceptions in the last 3 games, and for Georgia to win all 3 games, like y'all are not ready for that conversation.
You beat Texas. Georgia beat Texas, y'all. Georgia beat Texas at night. Texas was number 1, undefeated. And Carson Beck played one of the worst games that I've seen a Georgia quarterback play and still won the game by 2 touchdowns. Yeah. So you can look at that and say, Carson Beck is a terrible quarterback. Georgia's going to get beat, blah, blah. Or you can look at that and be like, Kirby Smart just doesn't lose, dude. He does not lose. Unless you have Alabama on your shirt, you're not beating Kirby Smart. And so until somebody shows me that is possible, I will continue to believe that the best thing that continues to happen is that Georgia has a quarterback that's playing terrible, and they're still winning football games. Michael, what's the best thing? Go for it.
I'm glad you qualified that, because I was not looking forward to all the text messages from our family members who are Alabama fans reminding us that Kirby Smart does in fact lose.
Wait, we have family members who are Alabama fans. Y'all, I'm learning so much on this podcast. Shout out, Shad. We know you're listening.
Over there in Piedmont.
Appreciate you. Go Dogs.
Love you, Shad.
So,
Michael,
best thing that happened for me in sports this weekend was just on Sunday. I don't watch the NFL, but I do watch the Philadelphia Eagles. Reconcile that in your brain however you want. But one of the reasons I watch the Philadelphia Eagles is because, as I mentioned last time, my fantasy team, Jalen Hurts is my quarterback. Devontae Smith is one of my receivers. And I made the choice to play Devontae Smith on my fantasy team this week. And so I watched that game eager to see him, just running some tight routes, catching some big passes. Well, he's over there diddling on the sideline or, placing little blocks here and there. Meanwhile, Saquon Barkley.
Diddling.
I hope he's not diddling on the sideline.
I'm going to need you to expound a little bit on diddling.
I need a definition of diddling. I'm so sorry. That, okay, continue.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but anyway,
okay. Podcast rule number 1. We've had no rules on this podcast until right now. Let's not use verbs that we don't know the meaning, because saying diddling. A grown man was diddling on the sideline.
Somebody's going to Google diddling right now. Somebody's going to Google it.
I don't want that in my search history. You go for it, Daniel.
Guys, I don't know if I can recover from this one. Anyway,
well, at least let's back
up.
Let's back up. Wait. I don't mean to interrupt, but let's back up. At least you know the names of the players of your fantasy football team this week, and you didn't know them last week. So we've taken a big step in one week.
Progress.
It's growth. That's
progress, baby.
Anyway, in the middle of that, while I'm ready to throw my phone across the room because I'm going to lose this fantasy matchup, Saquon Barkley freaking puts, I don't know what he drank, what he took. I don't know who's got the controller up in the press box, but that guy was doing stuff that's like, I mean, we use cheat code all the time talking about football, but that was cheat code material. If you saw that spin move and that backwards leap with his legs spread apart over a defender and then diving forward for 3 more yards, I've never seen anything like that. That was
The backwards hurdle that Saquon Barkley did, the backwards hurdle, as you know, I was an athlete, played a lot of sports.
Emphasis on was.
Wow. I was an athlete. That backwards hurdle is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And when you when you think about how big Saquon Barkley is, and his freaking legs, like freaking tree trunks. And this is a dude who is just he's an absolute beast. I mean, just 230 something pounds to do that backward hurdle. It literally, for me, I was watching it and the spin move was impressive enough. The backward hurdle, I had to get up and stretch my hamstring. I was like, dude, I just tore something. Like watching this dude, like I just tore something. Like in the
water, because I did a hamstring workout today for the first time in probably 5 years, and I don't know why. It had to be related to that. I was like, I got to get my legs in shape.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Saquon Barkley, just Google Saquon Barkley hurdle, and it will be the first thing that comes up. That backwards hurdle was the craziest thing I've ever seen in football.
Yeah, I got one bonus. One bonus, by the way. I mentioned to you guys. Kirk Cousins, I don't know if you saw, but I saw a video of him today after the Falcons won against the Cowboys yesterday. He went in the locker room, cleaned up, showered, put on a suit, came out, and then stood on the field for an hour and a half, or it was an hour and a half after the game, and he was throwing footballs to little kids. Just
I love it.
Let them run routes. Imagine that, a pro quarterback just throwing the ball to you while you run routes. It was awesome.
Love it. Every kid's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my QB. That's my QB. But listen, speaking of Kirk, Kirk Herbstreit, T's and P's, thoughts and prayers to Ben.
Oh yeah.
Kirk Herbstreit's dog that he's been taking around everywhere to all these football games. He posted an update on him, and he's had cancer, leukemia, I believe. But he's been going through chemo. He's lost the use of his back legs. Just a really sad situation. Shout out to Ben. One of the best things in sports for me this year was watching Ben on the sideline. Hopefully, Ben recovers from his treatment and is able to get back at it.
Truly, man's best friend is a dog. No
truly,
doubt.
man's best friend. All right, y'all. Now the good stuff. Okay, let's. Can we debunk any myths? So what people may or may not know about us is that we all three worked at Chick-fil-A. We all three spent time at the Christian Chicken, frying and breading and frying. Chicken. What's that?
The Lord's chicken.
Yeah, breading and frying way too much chicken in my life. So know a little bit about the ins and outs of Chick-fil-A. Is there a secret menu? In-N-Out, it's like people say In-N-Out has a secret menu. I don't know if it's that secret anymore. Does Chick-fil-A have a secret menu? Is that a thing?
There are menu hacks. I don't know if there's like an official secret menu. But there are menu hacks at Chick-fil-A for sure.
All right. We're going to go with that then. We're going to go with menu hacks. The best menu hacks at Chick-fil-A. So we all have... I would say, Daniel said he was a candy connoisseur last week, and then he rolled out dots. But listen, that's not this segment. Okay, we're not going to say that we're not going to say.
I'm still standing on dots, just for anybody that I don't care.
Okay, well, keep standing on your dots and but literally stand on them. Just smash them.
They hold me up.
Throw them in the trash. But no, we're going to talk about chicken and our favorite menu hacks at Chick-fil-A. So. Who wants to go first?
I got it.
Go for it.
So let me educate you something about Chick-fil-A a little bit. So you got the original chicken sandwich, just a delight, definitely a go-to. Then you have the char-grilled chicken sandwich. Now the difference between the original chicken sandwich and the char-grilled is they marinate the char-grilled sandwich in some kind of pickle marinade thing, and it gives a little bit of tang, right? Well, then you got the nuggets. The nuggets are like the original chicken sandwich. And then you have the strips, and the strips are marinated, but also breaded and fried. So it's like a tangy original chicken breast. So what I like to do is I'll get a 3-piece strip and I'll ask for a bun and you want it buttered and toasted, and then a side of pickles, and I make that strip sandwich almost every time I go to Chick-fil-A. That is my jam. It is next level.
Love it. Dana, what do you got?
Okay, real quick. One day we're going to dive into the social media campaign that Michael went on some years ago when Chick-fil-A tried to change up their barbecue sauce.
Well, give the people. You can't bring it up and then not give the people a rundown of it. So give the 30
so
second.
They changed their barbecue sauce to some kind of smoky garbage. What it was, absolute trash. Because Smith boys, we love us some Chick-fil-A barbecue sauce.
Yeah, we do.
And they changed it. And Michael is probably the most the calmest out of the three, maybe the most chill, if you could say it that way. Michael lost his ever-loving mind when they changed it. But I think it ruined his life. I really think so.
Y'all.
And this was in the early days of social media, and he said, "This is my chance. I'm going to take it." And I don't know if they changed it back but that I don't even know it set off a firestorm. And 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they were back to the regular barbecue sauce, and all was well.
Yeah, not only were they so Michael pitched such a fit on social media about Chick-fil-A barbecue sauce. Okay, Chick-fil-A barbecue sauce. He pitched such a fit that they sent him a care package that had Chick-fil-A barbecue sauce socks. There was a giant tin of Chick-fil-A barbecue sauce. I mean, this man went so hard in the paint on Chick-fil-A barbecue sauce that the corporation was like, send this man a care package with barbecue
Hashtag
sauce.
Brought back the barbecue was
That's right. That was it.
You're
that
welcome.
Was it.
You're welcome.
Listen, true story. I was cleaning out my email a couple of weeks ago, just trying to get rid of junk and put in some new filters and whatever. And I was filtering Chick-fil-A, like promotional messages, just to delete them and clean them up. And I swear I found the exchange with the poor gal in Chick-fil-A technical support or whatever when I submitted the ticket. And guys, I was legitimately embarrassed. Like, I just blacked out. I don't know what happened. Listen, I said some things. I was scared. I was hurt. Said things that I regret.
Michael is the medium. When everything is off the rails, Michael comes in. He's the fixer. Okay. So when he loses his mind, let me tell you something. Those eyebrows go up. Okay. Those eyes just go straight through your soul.
Right
and Michael, out of the three, he's probably the nicest, most respectful. He may not bark at a Tennessee fan. I'm not sure, but we're going to find out. But he lost. So the moral of the story is, if you enjoy Chick-fil-A barbecue sauce, thank my man. Thank my man up there. Send him a tweet. Okay. Send him a care package. Send him a Chick-fil-A gift card.
If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put up a graphic of Michael's care package from Chick-fil-A. If you're listening to this on podcast, just go to Instagram to Brothers Know Best and we'll put it there too, so you can see the care package that Michael received from pitching an absolute fit. But we have the Chick-fil-A barbecue sauce. They got rid of that trash that they tried to roll out, thanks to our boy Michael. So y'all are welcome.
Don't send me any Chick-fil-A gift cards, by the way, because God knows we've spent so much money at Chick-fil-A. We're whatever the top tier membership is on the app, like the Chick-fil-A One Platinum or whatever.
A platinum member.
Oh man, so we got all the rewards, we got all the free sandwiches, but appreciate the kind words.
All right, Dana, what's your best Chick-fil-A menu?
All right. So, Burger King has their slogan, "Have it your way." But Chick-fil-A really is the only fast food place where you can really get it your way. You can walk into a Chick-fil-A, and if they have the ingredients in that store, they will make it happen. They don't care. If you tell them how you want it, they bring it out on a plate. Who else does it that way? But my I guess menu hack, if you want to go that route, I do a bed of those waffle fries. that are so good. Now they got to be cooked right, but they're so good. And then you take the spicy chicken, because now they've got the spicy filet. You slice that thing up, put you some pepper jack cheese, or you can go Monterey Jack, just depending on how spicy you're feeling. And then just drizzle some of that Chick-fil-A sauce on the top. All the texture, all the flavor. Thank me later.
Okay, I was just wondering how sophisticated this was going to get. Like, you started with bed of waffle fries and then started layering, and I wasn't sure how far you were going to go. But that sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds
not too
good.
complicated. Easy, good.
Love it. All right, mine's going to be a little bit of a left turn, because Chick-fil-A hasn't always had mac and cheese, but the Chick-fil-A has mac and cheese now, and the mac and cheese is good. But let me tell you how to up this mac and cheese with my favorite menu hack. Order the mac and cheese. Order a 8 count of grilled nuggets. Order ranch and buffalo sauce. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your nuggets and you're going to cut them up a little bit. You're going to put them on top of the mac and cheese. You're going to douse that thing in buffalo sauce, and you're going to pour a little bit of ranch on it, and you're going to mix it all up. And what that is it tastes like, you know, that buffalo, everyone knows the buffalo chicken dip that you have with, you know, the sour cream and whatever at the Super Bowl party. It tastes like that, except it's mac and cheese.
Or on a Tuesday.
Or on Tuesday, whenever you have it.
Super Bowl party.
It tastes like that, but it is absolutely incredible. It is one of my favorite things to order at Chick-fil-A, which is basically it's basically buffalo chicken dip mac and cheese is what we'll call it. Super, super tasty. The other thing, you know, that you can do at Chick-fil-A too, that a lot of people don't know about, is you can order the chicken soup, and you can actually order a grilled cheese at Chick-fil-A, which is basically, you know, just it's the toasted Chick-fil-A bun with just cheese on it. And you can have you a soup and a grilled cheese for lunch too. Lots of ways you can do things at the old Chick-fil-A. Any other hacks we should talk about?
Just while we're talking about Chick-fil-A, could they please bring back the carrot raisin salad? Somebody please, can somebody incorporate help a brother out?
No, Daniel.
The 85-year-old man on the inside of Daniel has just come out.
Daniel,
coming out, baby.
You got to go on their website. You got to find the contact us button. You've got to send a raging email, like blow them up. And then you got to go post it all over your social media feeds for days. And that'll get you back. Yeah.
We're going to put Michael, we'll have him do the step-by-step process of railing on Chick-fil-A to get them to change something. Step-by-step process of corporate grievance, corporate airing of the grievances. Carrot and raisin salad, listen, I'll admit, I liked it. We may be the only two people that were still eating carrot raisin salad, which is why they don't have carrot raisin salad. But if you don't know what carrot raisin salad was at Chick-fil-A, it was basically exactly what it is. It was carrots and pineapple and raisins and some kind of little dressing situation. And it is, if you think you like carrots and pineapples and raisins and some kind of little dressing situation all mixed up together like a coleslaw, except it's carrots, pineapples, and raisins, then you may have liked it. If you don't, then you would probably have hated it. But I actually enjoyed it.
John, I want to go back to your menu hack for a second, because to a normal, rational person, you know, who's not a psychopath, that sounds delicious. But I've learned recently that some people don't like mac and cheese, and I don't know how to explain that.
It's true.
Your hack sounds delicious. Daniel, what do you think?
I mean, everything but the mac and cheese. I skip it, guys. I skip it.
Okay, we need to unpack this just real briefly. Why do you not like mac and cheese? Why are you the way that you are? Where do I send a corporate grievance email to you, to your personal self, that I am upset that you don't like mac and cheese?
I feel bad because Michael came home for Christmas a few years ago, and he might have spent 2 hours on this mac and cheese. And I think I scooped some out on my plate just to be nice, but I didn't eat it. I didn't eat it.
Gosh.
Sorry.
You don't have to keep saying these things out loud, man. You can take
would've
some things
never
to the
known.
grave, bro.
It's just,
I would have never known.
it's just not me. Mac and cheese is just not me. Sorry.
Mac and cheese.
But dots.
But that's
But
exactly
dots.
what I was about to say. But dots, the candy that sticks in your teeth for days. Sign them up. Mac and cheese.
Wow.
Nope, that's where we draw the line.
Wow.
All right. Okay. So my favorite segment this week. I can't wait to hear what you guys come with, because I'm also terrified to hear what you guys come with. The best embarrassing moments that we've seen each other go through. Listen, we didn't make any rules. I don't know what's about to come out of mouths. So I apologize in advance if I get upset, if I get
Sorry,
angry,
Mom.
if there's trauma that bubbles up. I'll try to respond respectfully. But what's the best embarrassing moment that you've seen someone else on this podcast go through? And I'll let whoever wants to start.
I'm not starting this time.
Go, Daniel.
I'll start. We were in, I don't know. I did a lot of things in high school. Chorus was one of them. Football, track, basketball, chorus.
Oh, you mean
band.
activities?
I did a lot. Yes. Okay. Yes. School sanctioned activities.
Okay,
Yeah, about that.
okay.
Let's put it that way.
All right. Okay.
And we're having some after school rehearsal or something. Michael's there somewhere. I don't really know exactly what he was doing until we're standing there in the middle of practice. Bless her heart, Miss Burkhalter, our chorus teacher, the best. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, reach out. She was the best. But this guy comes walking in, this big burly looking dude, kind of button up, but rough looking shirt. And he's pretty pissed. And here comes Michael walking behind him with another accomplice. We'll call him the accomplice, Mr. Track Star. If he's also watching, Alex. And apparently there was some work going on at the school, and there was a scissor lift in the parking lot. And the way I understand the story later, because I asked him about it, he said, hey, the keys were there. And I looked at him, he looked at me, and they take this scissor lift for a joyride in the parking lot of the school. And so the guy comes in and he's got their IDs in his hand. He's like, I got them. He walks in and he's like, these two boys out here with the scissor lift. That's high dollar equipment, just kind of going off. And Miss Burkhalter's like, yes, sir, I'll handle that, blah, blah, blah. And he takes that ID and he throws it down on the stage. And Michael just looks mortified. And I bring that up really because I couldn't think of a lot of times that Michael really got in trouble.
It's true. There wasn't a lot to choose from. There's not a lot to choose from.
Michael's pretty clean. Maybe he could tell us some stories later, but just from my experience, he didn't get in a lot of trouble. And that was just the look on his face, because he was like, I never get in trouble. I'm dead. Dad's going to kill me. This is it. It's over. My life's over.
I'm no longer the favorite. God, my favorite son title is gone now.
The chosen one has let me down.
So I'll give you a little background on that. Alex and I got into a lot of trouble in high school, but he took the brunt of it, I think. I don't know. We never got really punished, but we got into a lot of mischief, I'll say. So what happened on the other end of that story is we're walking out of school, and this one guy is walking from the scissor lift into the school building. And Alex says, hey, man, you let me drive that thing real quick? Let me take it. Let me just get up on it. I just want to raise it up. And the guy's like, oh, I can't let you do that. And Alex is like, come on, man, just 5 minutes. Let me drive that thing. And the guy says, I can't let you do that. And he turns to walk away, and he looks back and he says, but the keys are in it. And that guy walks into the school. So Alex and I look at each other. He immediately runs over, jumps up into the little carriage on top of the scissor lift. I'm trying to find the panel to figure out where the keys are to get this thing cranked. and a white construction van comes peeling through that parking lot, brakes squealing, and the enforcer jumps out and immediately takes us to task, gets our IDs, marches us into the school building. But that's what happened.
It was
boys gonna learn today.
So now what Michael's trying to say is was a setup. It wasn't even his fault.
Yeah, well,
So it wasn't his fault. It was a setup.
That's how he skirted all that trouble growing up. He blamed us.
There you go.
All right, Michael, what you got?
I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. All right. We can turn the tables. That's fine. One of my fondest memories of our childhood was going on vacations and taking tours of timeshares. So that Dad could get some kind of prize. So we
there's a whole separate set of stories.
We could talk about those stories at some point. But we didn't have a lot of money growing up. And Dad, bless him and Mom, loved them to death, figured out ways to get us vacations, and also figured out ways to get us while we were on vacations to get himself some kind of prize. Usually that was taking a tour of a timeshare. So back in the day, you could take a tour of a timeshare, go and spend 3 hours touring a timeshare that you weren't going to buy, that you couldn't afford to buy, but you would get a grill at the end of the tour, right? Come spend some time and they'll give you a grill, whatever it was. Well, we were taking a tour of this timeshare in Orlando, and when you take these tours of timeshares, especially as kids, the memories that I have are really, it's like walking around looking at buildings and then looking at the amenities of the place, right? So the pool was always, if you go into our timeshares, the pool was always like the big showpiece, right? You always walk out of this giant community pool. Usually it's like hopping. And so I always enjoyed seeing the pools when we went on these excursions to tour these timeshares. Well, we were touring this timeshare one time and we walked out and there's this giant pool. And at the pool, there's like the main pool, and then there's like a kiddie like pool situation. And there's these two fake palm trees. And these two fake palm trees, it's like a fountain, like a water feature. And there's these coconuts at the top, and the coconuts are filling up with water, and then they're dumping the water out, filling up water, dumping the water out. Yeah. And so we were all looking at these coconuts. And so me and Michael had, kind of stayed close with Mom and Dad and the person giving the tour and the group that we were with, whatever. And so we're just kind of like meandering, and we're all looking at these coconuts. Oh, it's so cool. Well, Daniel was fixated on these coconuts.
I was in a trance.
So we kind of walk off, and Daniel is now a little bit separated from us. So Daniel turns to come get back with the group. And this dude, Daniel, so sweet middle school Daniel, he used to wear a Hideo Nomo hat, pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and these giant thick glasses, and
Coke bottle
bottom glasses, like very thick glasses. Well, the dude has his hat and his glasses on, and so we're kind of walking off, and we turn and we all of a sudden we can't find Daniel, and it's like, well, where's Daniel? And we look, and Daniel had stepped fully clothed with his hat and glasses and everything on right into the pool. The dude had just like turned to walk away and had walked right into the pool completely clothed in front of everybody. Daniel was in the pool trying to
fighting for my life in the pool, and my family's just like, oh, I guess it was time for a swim.
He was fighting for his life in the pool, fully clothed, trying to find his glasses. While we all stood there laughing at him. And boy, man, that memory for me is, turning around, like looking at the coconuts, seeing Daniel, turning around, taking a few steps, turning back around. There's no Daniel. He's just in the pool.
Vanished.
It's one of an all-time memories for me.
Listen, I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember him coming out of the pool and then realizing his glasses had fallen off in the pool and having to jump back in and get to the bottom and get his glasses off.
Yeah,
I mean, I was the only one who was soaking wet. There was no other option.
Well,
It's like in that movie where you kind of look around and you know you're the odd man out, looking at all my family, and they're like, "Well, I mean, son, you've already been in the pool, so what's it gonna hurt to go back in?"
we had to send him back in the pool, and
sorry.
No,
go ahead, John.
And we didn't have a change of clothes.
Nope.
That's where I'm going.
This is
go
probably the
finish,
best part.
finish it, Michael.
For Daniel's, in Daniel's defense, I think he was younger than that. How do you remember how old you were, Daniel?
I don't know. It's probably
you were
10 or 11.
Yeah, like fifth grade. So fourth, fifth grade,
middle school. I mean, all right.
Well, but I think
We'll
middle
argue.
school.
We'll go. Keep going. We don't have to
Eighth
argue.
grade Daniel is not about to do what I'm about to tell you. So what I remember is that particular timeshare was for us to get free tickets to Universal Studios so we could go ride roller coasters. And we had planned to do that in the morning and then go straight to the park that afternoon. So we didn't have any room in the schedule to go back to the hotel and get a change of clothes. So Daniel's soaking wet. What are you going to do? Well, if you're the Smith family, you are going to make him strip down and you're going to hang the clothes out the window of the car while we drove down the highway through Orlando, and Daniel's shirt and pants and underwear just blowing
in the wind.
And we were all ducked down in that backseat.
They were so embarrassed. My Fruit Looms hanging out the window, and my brothers are mortified.
Knowing that we're not going to see anybody that we know dug down in that back seat while Daniel's clothes are flapping in the wind, driving all around Orlando.
Oh my gosh!
All right, Michael,
that was the best. All right, I got one. Well, I told you to go first. I forgot how good that story is. Okay, I got one on John, but I wasn't there. I'm cheating a little bit. I wasn't there to see this. I've only heard this secondhand. But when John was 4 or 5. So I was a baby, 2. We had a parakeet. Now, I checked with mom and dad. They couldn't remember this parakeet's name. They think it was Tweety or Birdie, something like that. But John loved this parakeet. And you'll learn as we tell more stories about our dad. Half of his life, I feel like he was working on cars. And so one day my dad's out in front of the house working on the car. And John is in the house looking at the bird, and he keeps telling mom, I want to go show the bird to dad. I want to take the bird out and let dad see the bird. I want to show dad Tweety. And so mom is like, no, you can't take the bird outside. And John's like, no, I want to show him to daddy. And so finally mom, for some reason, agrees to let John take the bird outside. And so she gets the bird out of the cage, hands it to 4-year-old John, and she says, I can't. Make sure you hold him tight so he doesn't fly away. Well, John, the dutiful oldest son that he is, he held that bird tight. And by the time he got out to the car, Tweety was dead, y'all. And mom told me today, I checked with her today to make sure I got these facts right. Mom said that as soon as John realized Tweety's dead, he just exploded, just screaming, crying. And poor dad's out there like, what just happened?
You guys wonder why I am the way that I am.
It's a real trauma, bro. That's a real trauma.
Oh man, I have not thought about that story in a very, very long time. But the fact that, listen, can we just say, can I just say in my defense, okay? Yes, I killed the bird. Yes, I killed the bird. But I also obeyed my mom for one of the few times in my life. Obeyed my mom.
I was going to say that was back in the days when
she said, hold it tight. She said, hold it tight. I held it tight.
He did.
Never held anything so tight in his life.
If there's one thing we know, that bird wasn't going anywhere. John made sure of that.
That bird felt safe until the moment he realized he was in trouble. That was it.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Oh,
Well,
my God.
that's Daniel's. I think Daniel's history of riding in cars with me is exactly that. Felt safe until the moment that he knew he was in trouble.
Absolutely. Everything was good until it just wasn't.
I feel like that's its own episode.
That is its own
Adventures
episode.
in
We'll talk
Cars.
about it next time. All right, y'all. Thanks for indulging us today and our stories. Best thing in sports. Hopefully you enjoyed the little Chick-fil-A banter. And listen, we'll be back. We'll share some of these stories. If you like what you hear, subscribe, leave a comment, and we will be back next time. Maybe. I don't know. If Michael keeps telling stories about me killing birds, I may never show back up.
Well, how many birds did you kill?
Well,
There are more?
On that note, we'll see y'all next time.